Tonight, an earthquake, a geopolitical tremor. Right here in our own backyard, Canada, our neighbor, our ally, has slammed a vital door, the door to Alaska. Americans are asking, how could this happen? The longest undefended border in the world, suddenly a line of division, a line of defiance. This isn't just news, this is a shockwave. It's a move that defies logic, history, and friendship. We are talking about a fundamental shift, a change that could redefine North America. The reports came flooding in this morning, May 29, 2025, a date that might live in infamy for US-Canada relations. Canada announced severe restrictions on American land access to Alaska through Canadian territory. For generations, that passage was a given. Now, uncertainty, confusion, anger. The implications are staggering for Alaskans, American commerce, and our national psyche. How did we get here? What does this mean for all of us tonight? This isn't some minor squabble. This is about access to American soil, access for American citizens. Canada's decision cuts deep. It feels like a betrayal to many, a stab in the back from a country we thought we knew. The reasons are still emerging, but the impact is immediate and severe. We are watching a crisis unfold in real time, right on our northern doorstep. The shock isn't just about the policy, it's about the principle of open borders between friends, the principle of shared destiny. Canada's move challenges everything, forcing us to question assumptions about our closest allies and the stability of our continent. This is a test of leadership, diplomacy, and resolve. The questions are many, and the answers, they are hard to find tonight. Let's be clear. This isn't just any road. We're talking about the Alaska Highway, the Alcan. A lifeline forged in the crucible of World War II. America needed a secure land route to defend Alaska, and Canada stepped up. Together, we built it. A monumental feat of engineering, a symbol of enduring partnership. Thousands of miles through rugged, unforgiving terrain. It was a testament to what our nations could achieve when we worked as one. Now, that symbol is tarnished. That lifeline is threatened. For over 80 years, the Alcan has been more than asphalt. It's been a conduit for goods, people, families connecting, and businesses thriving. It allows Alaska to breathe, to connect to the lower 48. Without it, Alaska becomes an island, a distant outpost dependent on costly sea and air routes. This isn't just an inconvenience, it's an economic chokehold, and it feels deliberate, targeted. The historical precedent is clear: cooperation, mutual benefit, treaties, and understandings. For decades, these governed access, ensuring the free flow and recognizing Alaska's unique geographical position. Canada's sudden pivot throws all of that into question. Are these agreements now worthless? Are decades of goodwill simply erased? These are the questions echoing in Washington and certainly in Juneau. The silence from Ottawa on these historical bonds is deafening. It speaks volumes. This move by Canada feels like historical amnesia, or worse, a willful disregard for shared history and sacrifice. The Alcan wasn't just America's project, it was a joint North American endeavor. It secured the continent and fostered growth. To restrict it now? It's like tearing pages from our common story. A move that many say spits on the legacy of that cooperation. A legacy built on trust, now in jeopardy. The path ahead looks treacherous. So why? Why would Canada do this? The official line from Ottawa is wrapped in careful language. They call it the Northern Shield Proclamation. Prime Minister Trudeau's government cites pressing concerns about Arctic sovereignty and environmental protection in sensitive northern regions. They talk about unregulated traffic, wear and tear on their infrastructure, hinting at a need for new protocols, fees, permits, maybe even quotas. A controlled flow, they say, not a closed door. But many are skeptical. Is this truly about sovereignty, or is it a power play, a high-stakes negotiation tactic? Canada has felt slighted by the US before, on trade, pipelines, international stages. Is this retaliation, a way to exert leverage? Some analysts believe so. They see this not as a defensive measure but as an offensive one, a calculated risk designed to force concessions from Washington. The specifics of the restrictions are still being parsed. Initial reports suggest a dramatic slowdown. Commercial trucking facing new, complex inspections, lengthy delays. Private vehicles subjected to stringent necessity tests. Some tourism routes effectively shuttered. There are whispers of new, exorbitant transit tariffs. The message seems clear. American access will no longer be easy, cheap, and it will be on Canada's terms exclusively. This is a new reality, a harsh reality. Inside Canada, the reaction is mixed. Some nationalist voices applaud the move. seeing it as a long overdue assertion of Canadian independence, a stand against American encroachment, but others are deeply worried. Business leaders fear American backlash. Provincial premiers, especially in the West, worry about economic fallout. They fear damage to cross-border tourism, a chill in relations that could hurt everyday Canadians. This northern shield may prove to be a double-edged sword for Canada itself. And then there's Trump. Former President Donald Trump didn't wait long. He unleashed a torrent of condemnation on his social media platform. His message was blunt, unfiltered. He called Canada's decision a disgraceful betrayal. He blamed the current administration, saying weakness invites aggression. His rhetoric was classic Trump. Canada has been ripping us off for years, he declared, on trade, on defense, on everything. Now this. He vowed that if he were in office, this would never have happened. He promised swift, decisive action. They will pay dearly for this insult, he thundered. We will hit them where it hurts. Their economy will scream. He called for immediate countermeasures, tariffs, sanctions. He's tapping into a vein of American anger. For Trump's base, these words are like a shot of adrenaline. They see him as the strong leader, the one who would put America first. His attacks on the current U.S. leadership resonate with his supporters. They believe this crisis is a direct result of a failure to project American strength. Trump's narrative is simple. Canada is bullying America, and only he can make them stop. It's a powerful message, and it's gaining traction. The impact of Trump's intervention is undeniable. It pours gasoline on an already raging fire, complicates diplomatic efforts. They now face pressure from a vocal, powerful segment of the American public. His words make a measured, calm response more difficult. He's framing this as a test of wills, a battle that America must win. The White House is scrambling. President Biden's administration expresses deep concern, profound disappointment. They seek urgent clarification from Ottawa. The Secretary of State has been on the phone with his Canadian counterpart. The calls are described as tense, unproductive. Canada cites its sovereign right to control its territory. This is a diplomatic crisis of the first order. U.S.-Canada relations weren't perfect before this, but this is a new low. The trust has been shattered. Rebuilding it will take years, if it's even possible. This move by Canada could alter the North American landscape for decades. We are in uncharted waters. The economic ripples are already spreading. Alaskan businesses are in panic mode. How will they get supplies? How will they ship their products? The cost of everything in Alaska is set to skyrocket. Tourism operators face ruin. Canadian towns along the transit routes also depend on American travelers. This is a self-inflicted wound for both nations. The price of this standoff will be paid by ordinary people on both sides of the border. And what about the world? Our allies are watching nervously. If America can't maintain stable relations with Canada, its closest neighbor, its longest friend, what does that say about global stability? This dispute isn't happening in a vacuum. It has geopolitical consequences. It signals instability, a fracturing of Western solidarity at a time when the world can least afford it. This is a dangerous game with very high stakes. Geopolitical analysts are working overtime trying to make sense of Canada's gambit. Is it a calculated power play? Dr. Eris Thorne thinks so. Canada feels emboldened, he argues. They see a shifting global landscape. They believe they can assert more autonomy, even if it means alienating Washington. Others call it a colossal miscalculation. Ottawa has overplayed its hand, says former Ambassador Julia Chen. The backlash will be severe and Canada will suffer the most. The debate rages. So here we are, a continent on edge. Canada's decision to restrict U.S. access to Alaska has sent shockwaves. The Alaska Highway, now a line of contention. Trust, built over generations, lies fractured. The world's longest undefended border feels very defended and tense. Negotiation is paramount. Urgent, serious, good faith negotiation. Leaders need to lead, not posture. Perhaps a neutral third party could help find common ground. Retaliation? That's a dangerous road. Even if resolved quickly, the scars will remain. Alaska's relationship with the US and Canada will be forever changed. Diplomacy matters, alliances matter, respect matters. We share values, interests, a destiny on this continent. The task is to de-escalate, to mend this fractured friendship,